everyone, it's Rita, and today we're doing a October wrap-up. So I mentioned it in a previous video, but I'm coming out of like a 3-year reading slump where I read literally nothing. No, that's not true. I read a couple books, but it was like 2 or 3 books during the entire year, which is very unlike me. So I'm coming out of that now, and I feel like I had a pretty good month. I read 6-ish books, and I listened to some audiobooks too. So what I'm gonna do is go in order from the lowest rating to the highest. So the first book that I read was Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. And I feel really bad about saying it like this, but I listened to the audiobook and I spent the majority of the book so confused. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on with the characters, and I don't know, I felt very confused. I feel like I would have liked it a lot better if I had read like an actual book, like a physical copy. So I don't know, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I definitely plan on coming back to it and reading it in like a physical form, because I feel like it's a really good story and it's very character driven, which I normally really like, but maybe it's just the audiobook. So, alright. Next up, we have Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco, and I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. Again, I liked it. There was nothing wrong with it. I feel like this was supposed to be like a mystery slash thriller book, and if I'm reading a mystery, I want to be outsmarted by the author. Like, I don't want to be able to guess what the ending is going to be halfway through, which is what I did with this one. Like, I guessed halfway through what the outcome was going to be, and I'm usually absolutely god awful at guessing endings, like truly the worst. So I don't know, it was okay. I've heard that the rest of the series gets better, like the first book is kind of slow or draggy or something like that, but that it picks up. So I think I'm going to continue reading the series because I'm interested in, you know, what happens with Audrey Rose and Thomas, but I don't know, it was okay. I enjoyed reading it, like while I was reading it. It was just like when it was done, I was like, oh, okay, like that was all right. It wasn't horrible or anything like that. All right, and next up we have Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. Probably pronouncing that wrong, but this is the 3rd book in the Raven Cycle series, and I didn't read this entire book. I have been listening to it as an audiobook a couple months ago, and I had found the physical copy. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna finish this series. And so I read through like half of it before I realized that I had already listened to the audiobook. So I read the second half of this book. I really enjoy the Raven Boys. Like, the story is so neat, and it's just the vibe and the atmosphere in the book I love. Like, love it. I listened to half of the first book, the second book, and then this book as audiobooks, and again, I was just kind of confused. Maybe it's just audiobooks. Maybe I just get confused with audiobooks. Like, I need to actually have the book in my hand to understand what's going on. I don't know, because that seems to be my critique with all the audiobooks I've listened to. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. Yeah, it's a wonderful story. There's got so much like magic and nostalgia, and I loved it. I don't know what to say about it without like spoiling anything, but I really enjoyed it. And Ronan, definitely my favorite character. All right, and then I read the last book, The Raven King, and I gave this one, oh, I forgot to say that I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. But I also gave The Raven King 4 out of 5 stars. And the reason being, I felt like the ending went really fast. Like, they've been building up to finding the Raven King for 4 books, and then they spend like the last couple chapters going over it. I'm just like, wait, what? Like, no. I want it to be like very drawn out, and I want lots of, I don't know, I just wanted extra. I wanted more than what the ending gave me. Like, the book was still really, really good, and it was still like a what ending, but I felt like it could have been longer. Like, they shortened it a lot. I don't know. Anyway, I like this series. I'm definitely gonna be rereading it at some point. Alright, and next we have Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This has been sitting on my shelf for 2-3 years, something like that. I read a bunch of other John Green books that I really liked, and I had seen the movie for this before, and I liked the movie. I thought it was okay. Like, I wasn't particularly like in love with it or anything. So I'm like, I have so many other books that I want to read. I already know what's gonna happen in this, so why should I read it? But I finally picked it up, and I'm glad I did. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite John Green book. I think my favorite is probably Turtles All the Way Down and Paper Towns. Wait, is Paper Towns even a John Green book? I don't remember. Anyway, not my favorite John Green book, but I liked it. I did not cry. I feel like everyone who's ever talked about this book talks about how much they cried during it, and I felt kind of like a stone cold hearted bitch because I didn't cry. I don't usually cry during books or movies. Like, it's gotta be really, really like just pull on those heartstrings in order to get me to cry. But I liked it. I gave it, I think I already said I gave it 4 out of 5. Okay, so I guess this is sort of a spoiler if you have never watched the movie or the book, or watched the movie or read the book, but I could have sworn that they both died at the end of the book. Like, I don't know where I heard that or how I got that in my head, but I could have sworn that both of the characters die. But they don't. Just the boy dies, like in the movie. So, I don't know where I heard that. So, it was good. I liked it. It was a good book. Alright, next we have Girl with a Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Okay, so this book, there's kind of a funny story that goes along with it for me. I've had this book for 8 years? Something like that. It's just been sitting on my shelf. I did not buy it. I stole it from my cousin. When she moved, she left this at her mom's house, and I took it, and I never gave it back to her, even though she did ask for it. But yeah, I really like this book. I hadn't really heard a whole lot about it, so I kind of went in blind. I just knew that it was about the painter who paints Girl with a Pearl Earring. I can't remember his name right now. Starts with a V. Vermeer is a Dutch painter, and he painted this painting, Girl with a Pearl Earring, and this book is basically the story of the model. So this maid girl is the model for this painting, and it's her story and like how she came to be the model and her relationship with the family that she was working for. It was really good. I liked it. It was short too. Like, it's not a big book. It's only like 224 pages. Like, it's a little book. So I always like short, quick reads. I just feel like they're easier to get through, and I feel so encouraged when I actually finish a book. Like, oh yes, I finished something. Let me go start another one. I don't know if I would reread it necessarily. I've heard the movie is horrible though. Like, so bad. So probably not gonna watch the movie either. But this is gonna stay on my shelf just because I never get rid of books, ever. Alright, and then we had The Secret Life of Bees. I read this book at the very beginning of the month. This is by Sue Monk Kidd. So I do remember it, but I don't remember all of it. but I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Thinking back, I'm probably gonna change that to 4 out of 5 just because I don't remember a whole lot about it, so that tells me that it wasn't really memorable. But I really liked it when I was reading it. Like, I felt like it was a historical fiction. I don't know if it's technically classified as historical fiction, but I really like historical fiction that's set in like the civil rights era. I always have, and this was set in the 60s, and it's basically about this little girl named, what's her name? Lily Owens, and her mother died when she was young, and she like runs away from her abusive father to this little town in South Carolina that has something to do with her mom. Like, the town has some sort of connection with her dead mother, and she's just trying to figure out what that is. And she meets these 3 sisters who are beekeepers, and they're black and she's white, and it's in the South in the 60s. You know, like the stuff that was going on during the civil rights where like the blacks and the whites had like separate everything. That's going on in this book. And yeah, it's just about this little girl and like her story, like her journey on figuring out what happened to her mom, and her realizing that, you know, things that society had told her are not true. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I really enjoyed this while I was reading it. I don't know if I would reread it. I did watch the movie right after I read the book, and it has Queen Latifah in it. I like the book better. There's never been a movie or a book to movie adaptation where I've actually liked the movie as much as I like the book. It just hasn't happened yet. So same thing happened with this. Like, I like the book better. Alright, so that's all the books that I read in October. I'm still listening to Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, and like, I understand more of like what's going on with the characters and stuff, but I'm still confused. So I think maybe I just need to go and get a physical copy of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom and just read them, because I feel like they would make a lot more sense to me if I did that. So I'm liking it, but I've stopped and started it a couple times, and I just can't seem to listen to it all the way through. But then again, the audiobook is like 14 hours or something like that. So I listen to it when I'm on my way to work normally. But it's okay. I really think that I'm gonna reread them as books though, because I'm just confused by the audiobooks. And then I just have to talk about this one because I started it and I'm only like, how far am I into it? I'm only 147 pages in, and the book is like 500 something. Yeah, it's 500 pages. And that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I have heard so many good things about this book. It's actually Hannah's favorite book from A Clockwork Reader. And I picked it up just because of how much she loves this book and she talks about it all the time. So I'm like, all right, I need to try to read it. And plus it has a circus setting, which I don't think I've actually ever read a circus setting book. The idea of it just sounds so appealing and like neat and kind of quirky and weird, and I like books like this. I like very atmospheric books. Like, I like to be drawn into the world, and I like to feel everything that the book wants me to feel, and this book is doing that. And I am loving it very much. And I usually only read, well, I shouldn't say I only read, but most of my reading has been happening over the weekend, but I have been reading this book during the week, and it is amazing. I love it. So far, 5 out of 5 stars, but we'll see when I get to the end. And it's a big book. I haven't read a 500-page book in, God, so long, years. It's been literal years. Like, I don't think I've read a 500-page book since I was in high school. So once I finish this will be an accomplishment just if I finish it. I shouldn't say if, when I finish it, because I really like it and I'm going to finish it. All right, so that is all I have for this video. I feel like that was a pretty good reading month for me personally, just because I haven't been reading at all. And to read as many books as I did, I'm really proud of myself. And and I'm really hoping that I have a good reading month in November. I haven't picked out a TBR yet. I should probably do that. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go before this video gets entirely too long. I will see y'all in the next video.